Back home, I had 99 other classmates in my classroom. It would be a one-way conversation with my professor standing at the far end and giving out lectures, and me sitting right at the back. The largest class that I've had at St. Joseph's has been, say, 25 students, and never has been a class where I have not spoken for at least 10 minutes. So every class is more or less an interactive session. You do look at stuff for the first half of the class, but the second half you indulge in, conversation with your fellow classmates, with your professor, because a lot of your classmates come with bags and bags of experiences, and just conversing with them on topics that you've discussed in the class just adds so much more value to your education, so that when you take all of this back to your workplace, you are, adding value to your workforce. You're adding another dimension to your workplace. So that's where I feel that this two-way conversation, this interactive, collaborative session is what I like to call it as, makes a lot of difference in the way you learn and how you learn. If somebody imposes something on you that this is what you need to learn, you'll forget it in the next minute. But then when you pick up something that you did not know from someone who's been really good at it, you're never going to forget that. Trust me on that. Some of my classes, I've had classmates who are vice presidents, directors, and somebody who's at the far end of their business side and are in a position to make big decisions that affect a whole business unit. And when I would interact or hear from them, I would get a completely different side of how a business works or how a business runs. What are the things that they need to answer, in order to, keep the entire account or entire business moving. Sometimes when you're doing that from an operations side, you don't seem to understand the importance of it. But then working professionals who have been in their industry for over 10 to 15 years have immense amount of experience, give you a completely different side of business and how they, work in those businesses, and what are the different indicators that they look at. So having to see that story from that far end of the spectrum, from where I would look at it, whereas I'm beginning my career, it's something that it helps you keep focus and keep in mind when you're starting in a new industry or when you're starting in a new workplace.